Hello, welcome to the fall 2012 semester of RODP classes. I'm Charles Cooper. I'm your instructor. I'm also the course developer for your courses. So I'm the person to go to if you see something wrong with the course. Just let me know if there's some kind of problem or something you don't understand. I certainly would appreciate your input into the course. I'm looking down at my little cheat sheet here. I want to go over a few items with you to help you get started in the course. Let me adjust the camera down just a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. First thing I want to stress to you is I really value your input in the course. I want to try to make the course as close as possible to a on-ground live classroom course. I expect a lot and I want a lot of interaction between you and me and between the different students in the class. I want to see a lot of communication take place. If you have a problem about something, I certainly want to hear about that, but I also want to hear your viewpoints and your opinions and information you find outside of the course material. So feel free to communicate in the class. We have the email available for you to communicate. We also have the discussion board to help you communicate in the class. If I had one thing to tell you as a getting started point, is be sure not to get behind in your class. That's the main reason for students to not be successful in the class, is that they get behind, they miss a couple of assignments, they get behind on their assignments, they have to do it at the last minute, and it just doesn't work out well. Even though the class is a somewhat self-paced class, everything is on a schedule. And these schedules are pretty much enforced. We have to because of the number of students involved. So the big thing is if you can help it, can't help it, don't get behind. Stay up to date on the course material. If something comes up that you do have problems with, let me know beforehand. I know in the past I've had several students that have had pregnancies that were coming to a conclusion sometime during the semester, or things have come up during the semester. I ask you to let me know as soon as possible if there is a problem, and I'll try to work with you every way that I can. Once you miss a deadline, though, I'm not very sympathetic. You'll have all the information at the beginning of the course. You'll know for the next 16 weeks exactly when something is due and what you're expected to do in the course. So, I'm not too sympathetic to students to just kind of goof off and not do what they're supposed to do during the course. So let me point that out very first thing in the class. Getting ready for the classes in the fall, I've had a little bit of trouble with the calendar. I don't know if I'll get the calendar function going in time for the start of class. I'll get it going as soon as I can. To help you with this, I will send you a copy of the calendar. I certainly will send you one that I use. It has all the calendar dates of when things are due, what things are in the class. I'll also try to work out something on the screen to kind of reminders to help you keep up with the class, to help you keep from getting behind. But be aware that there is a little bit of a problem with the calendar. If I don't get the calendar working, be sure to check each of the different components of the class. All the materials of the content pages are on a time release type thing. You will not be able to see Module 2 until we finish Module 1. Your discussion board items are in there. There's a time period of when they're available for you to participate in the discussion. And also all the assignments have due dates. Now I might mention on the due dates, I do a staggered approach on those assignments. There's a due date for each assignment, each Dropbox assignment. Then I give you 5 days of grace period that you can turn the assignment in late. So that way if you forget about an assignment, don't just throw up your hand and say, oh gee, I missed that one. No, you have 5 days to turn it in. Now between the due date and what I call the cutoff date, there will be a penalty for assignments turned in late, so keep that in mind, but you will get partial credit for those assignments. This also gives me the opportunity, if you're lacking something in your assignment, I'll write you back and say, you did this, but you left this off, or I need to get you to resubmit something else because I couldn't get it to open, or something like that. Items like that will not carry a penalty if it's not your fault or just missing the assignment. If you really try the assignment and something happens that doesn't come through right, I'll give you, go ahead and give you your full points earned for that. But if you just miss an assignment because you just forget about it or you get behind, I'd have very little sympathy for you. I think it's part of what we're trying to teach as far as part of the education program of getting materials on time. When you become a teacher and you have a bad day and you don't get your lesson plans ready, you got 20 students sitting there looking back at you and say, okay, teacher, what are we going to do today? Teaching's not the type of profession where things can be put off very much. You have to pretty much stay on schedule, and we're going to try to enforce that in our class. To get started in the class, there's several things I think you need to look at in particular. First one is go to the course. You'll see a navigation bar at the top of the screen. Go to where it says Contents. In the Contents, you'll see two modules to start with. One's called Getting Started, and the other one will be Module 1. In the Getting Started module, be sure to look at the instructor information. That tells you how to get in touch with me, my name, how you can get in touch with me. It tells you a little bit about me, my background, where I'm coming from, my philosophy of teaching in the course. All of this will be involved in the instructor information. Another important area for you to look at, you may want to print this one out, is the outline. This includes all the materials in the course. It tells you what's in every module. It tells you what every assignment is. It tells you what textbook assignments, if any, what topics we'll be covering in the assignments. It's just an outline form, but gives everything in the course. You can, like I say, you could print that out or keep a copy of it handy where you can check things off as you do things, where you can keep up with the dates. Now, this page does not include the deadlines. All this is just a listing of the items, but be sure to look at that page. The big page to look at in the Getting Started module is the syllabus. These are the rules of the course. These are the rules of the course. If you break a rule, expect to be penalized. If you don't turn in something correctly, as I've asked, expect to be penalized. If you don't turn it in on time, expect to be penalized. So be sure to read these instructions, these rules, very carefully. If you have any questions, contact me immediately with them. When you go to the discussion board, look and see the very first discussion board is a place for you to ask course questions. So you have a question about a course, ask the question. If I don't get to it and answer it to you immediately, one of the other students will also, you're welcome to, if you know the answer to the question somebody's asking, you're welcome to also participate in this discussion board and help your fellow classmate by answering the question for them. I prefer the discussion board rather than the email. Discussion board would be just like I've always likened it to asking a question in class. You raise your hand or whatever, like you would in a on-ground class. You ask a question, everybody can hear your question, everybody can hear my response. If you have something of a personal nature, be sure you don't have to use a discussion board. You can use the email, and I liken the email to go into your instructor's office to ask a question. So most routine questions I want you to ask on the discussion board. If it's something comes up of very personal nature, by all means use the email system. It has to be the D2L email system. Don't use my campus email. I may not see it, but be sure to look at the email system in the D2L class. But save this for very specific questions of a personal nature. Just general questions about the course, or what am I supposed to do in this assignment, or when is this assignment due, or what does he mean by this? Ask these type of questions on the discussion board, and that way everybody can participate and everybody can hear the same answer, and everybody gets the same. Nobody gets an advantage of asking me. But again, if you have something personal, use the discussion board. A couple of forms. One you'll see when you first log in on the course homepage. TBR requires you to complete a participation survey. This is a federal requirement, particularly for those people getting financial aid, that shows that you've participated in the course. You have to do this. If you don't do this within the first 14-day period, you'll be kicked out of the class. You'll lose your money. You'll lose any participation in the grade. The second form, and I'll send this link out separately, but it's also on the opening page. It's also in the instructor information page, a link to it, is a new student information form. This is a form that will come directly to me. I'll respond back to you, make sure you know I got it. But this just tells me a little bit about yourself, why you took the course, what do you expect to get out of the course, what is your goal in education, why are you here? Gives me a little bit of background where you went to, where you're going to school, where you live, not dress or anything like that, but just where I have a general idea of who you are and where you're coming from. So be sure to complete that form as soon as you can. This just gives me a chance to get to know you a little bit better, since we won't be seeing each other, and since I have students from all 20 some odd TBR institutions, so it's not like we're all on one campus where I know everybody's from a fairly close geographical area. We have people from all over the world really taking these RODP classes, so it just gives me a chance to get to know you a little bit better. You'll see I also ask in there that for you to post a discussion post on the discussion board. And this just gives you a chance to introduce yourself to your classmates. Now remember, anything on the discussion board can be read by everybody. Everything's submitted to the Dropbox like the student information form. I'm the only one that sees it, so don't feel like you're putting information out publicly that you don't want other people to know. I'm the only one that'll see that. I'll respect your confidence in that. I won't share that information with the rest of the class. But you also might want to introduce yourself to your classmates. See if there's some other people from your school or some other people you may know that you've had in other classes taking this class, and that way you can communicate directly with them and build up some friendships there that may be beneficial later on. So be sure to do these things to get started in the class. I think you'll get off to a good start. I wish you well in the class. I expect everyone in this class to do well in the class. I'm not a teacher's going to fail everybody in sight. Usually my grades run pretty high because everything, I give you ample opportunity to do things, and I'm fairly easy on the grading. But I do have some specific rules, so be sure to look at that syllabus to find out what those rules are. Also, again, just a reminder, don't get behind. Let me know if you're having trouble with something, you want to get caught up on it. But if you start getting behind, that's when you're going to start running into trouble. Again, if there's any questions, let me know. The discussion board's there for your use, and we look forward to having you in class, and you can start working on those first assignments as soon as you get in the class. And I'll be communicating with you on a regular basis by posting information on the discussion board. So again, welcome to the class. Glad to have you with us.